Greetings YouTube, Isis and Horus, Part 1. Isis was a goddess in ancient Egyptian religious beliefs, whose worship spread throughout the Greco-Roman world. She was worshipped as the ideal mother, wife, matron of nature and magic. She was the friend of slaves, sinners, artisans, the downtrodden, as well as listening to the prayers of the wealthy, maidens, aristocrats and rulers. Isis is the goddess of motherhood and fertility. Shortly after 500 BC, during the 5th dynasty, the first written records concerning the worship of Isis appear. The goddess Isis, the mother of Horus, was the first daughter of Jeb, god of the earth, and Nut, the goddess of the overarching sky, and was born on the 4th intercalary day. At some time Isis absorbed some characteristics of Hathor, a powerful deity. In later myths about Isis, she had a brother, Osiris, who became her husband, and she then was said to have conceived Horus. Isis was instrumental in the resurrection of Osiris, when he was murdered by Seth. Her magical skills restored his body to life, after she gathered the body parts that had been strewn about the earth by Seth. This myth became very important in later Egyptian religious beliefs. Isis is also known as the goddess of simplicity, from whom all beginnings arose, and was the lady of bread, of beer, and of green fields. In later myths, ancient Egyptians believed that the Nile River flooded every year because of her tears of sorrow for her dead husband, Osiris. This occurrence of his death and rebirth was relived each year through rituals. The worship of Isis eventually spread throughout the Greco-Roman world, continuing until the suppression of paganism in the Christian era. Her origins are uncertain, but are believed to have come from the Nile Delta. Unlike other Egyptian deities, however, she did not have a centralized cult at any point throughout her worship. This may be because of the late ascendancy of her cult to prominence. First mentions of Isis date back to the 5th dynasty of Egypt, which is when the first literary inscriptions are found, but her cult became prominent late in Egyptian history, when it began to absorb the cults of many other goddesses with strong cult centers. This is when the cult of Osiris arose, and she became such an important figure in those beliefs. Her cult eventually spread outside Egypt. During the formative centuries of Christianity, the religion of Isis drew converts from every corner of the Roman Empire. In Italy itself, the Egyptian faith was a dominant force. At Pompeii, archaeological evidence reveals that Isis played a major role. In Rome, temples were built and obelisks erected in her honor. In Greece, traditional centers of worship in Delos, Delphi, and Eleusis were taken over by followers of Isis, and this occurred in northern Greece and Athens as well. Harbors of Isis were to be found on the Arabian Sea and the Black Sea. Inscriptions show followers in Gaul, Spain, Pannonia, Germany, Arabia, Asia Minor, Portugal, Ireland, and many shrines even in Britain. Most Egyptian deities first appeared as very local cults, and throughout their history, retained those local centers of worship, with most major cities and towns widely known as the home of these deities. Isis originally was an independent and popular deity established in predynastic times, prior to 3100 BC, at Sebennytos in the northern delta.